Before this video starts, I just want to give a massive shout out to all my channel members. If you want to receive a shout out, then become a channel member today and you'll be shown on screen like all these other channel members here. Anyways, enjoy the video. On August 4th, version 14.6 dropped in the Japanese version and dropped on September 9th for the international versions. This update contains a lot of content and I want to talk about everything that was added in this version. Since we have loads to cover, all I ask is if you enjoyed this update analysis, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment what was the most exciting thing about this update was for you. Anyways, let's get into the new content. All units discussed here will use their level 30 stats. The first new unit added is a brand new elemental pixie, this being Komori and Moriren. The first form sports Colossus Slayer and Behemoth Slayer, as well as a 50% chance to curse black and alien enemies for 4.8 seconds, as well as warp immunity. This first form isn't all too great, only having value in a few select Cats of the Cosmos stages. The second form gains Barrier Breaker, a 100% chance to curse, resist, and conjure. They sport 59,000 HP and deal 24,000 damage. With resist, their health boosts to an effective 297,000 effective health. This unit mainly gets value out of cursing aliens, as aliens are a crowd control heavy trait, though this puts them in stiff competition with Fried Chicken Cat, whose curse is really hard to beat. Even though almost no black enemy has crowd controlling that can actually be cursed, the few that can be cursed and have an impact are mostly behemoth enemies. Speaking of behemoths, they sport 99,000 effective HP and deal an effective 61,000 damage. For target-specific behemoths, their HP goes up to 495,000. This unit's main niche is serving as an accessible behemoth slayer for early game players, as being able to have good stats that counter many of the early game behemoths can be hard to come by. Scissorex and Darkjo, both alien and black behemoths, tend to be major roadblocks for many in behemoth progression, and this Uber helps with this. Eventually, this Uber stats just don't keep up with many of the other stronger units outside of the Bunaglio stages, where they still get a ton of value thanks to their statflation, making them one of the few viable Ubers in their stages. As for their Colossus Slayer, they're a good option for Super Hypo and Lagrim, but if you're intending on taking on these bosses to the very end, there's a good chance better units will be available, but they can help in the earlier phases of this gauntlet for mid-game players. For Colossus enemies, they sport 85,000 effective health with 39,000 damage. Trait-specific Colossus enemies bumps their effective health to 425,000. This Uber also has Conjure, which can weaken all enemies for 6.67 seconds, or 8 seconds with treasures. Overall, this unit doesn't have the best kit, as it tries doing too many things at once, but undersells in a lot of categories, but getting this unit rather early can make a lot of behemoth progression easier. The next unit is a new Great Advent reward, this being Carpenter and Rapper Cat, another meat shield unit similar to Jetpack and Cone. Seeing as this is such a late game unit, I'm gonna cover them at their level 50 stats instead of level 30. At level 50, they sport 22,000 HP and deal 8,100 damage. They have resist against red and floating with Sage Slayer and immunities to freeze and wave. The resist gives them an effective 114,000 HP against red and floating enemies. Against Sages, this health is at 45,900 and they deal 9,700 damage to Sages. With trait-specific Sages, their health goes all the way up to 229,000 HP, 10 times their regular HP stat. This unit is a fairly solid meat shield for traits that surprisingly don't have any real dedicated meat shield outside of Neko Common and boosted Maximum the Fighter. They also have enough health to work as a general Sage meat shield for most Sage enemies, save for Ultrich, though it is still best to use straight dedicated meat shields in most situations. Their boosted health makes them an amazing option for Albrelli and Dr. KO as well. However, if it isn't obvious by now, they're meant to serve as hard counters to Adherence to Virtue and Immeasurable Power, the boss stages of Soractis and Newton. While they make the Newton fight an easier one if you don't do the rush, this single unit turns Adherence to Virtue, one of the most difficult stages in the game, to nothing more than a cakewalk. Being able to tank over 9 hits from the boss basically makes it impossible for them to push outside of the Doge Darks, but if you have something to deal with them, then this stage pretty much becomes free with this unit. Their freeze immunity also means they can get up close and personal with Soractis. While their freeze immunity mainly helps here, as it doesn't have a lot of applications outside of Soractis, their wave immunity, besides countering Noon, also gives us a pretty fast wave immune meat shield. They're especially great for Berserkori and Toucan. Overall, this unit is an excellent meat shield that turns one of the most difficult stages in the game to a rather free boss. Then we have a summer variant of Pegasa, Seaside Pegasa. This version of Pegasa trades her floating and zombie targeting for Blackhead traitless targeting, sets her weaken time to 3.33 seconds for traitless or 4 seconds against black enemies, as well as giving her wave immunity and a level 3 mini wave. This form of Pegasa has more general stats, sporting a health stat of 68,000 HP and dealing an effective 27,500 damage thanks to the mini wave. She also has a 460 standing range, allowing her to outrange Master A and the Sloth, which could provide a ton of early game value. The wave immune helps a lot with many bosses, like some of the Crazed Cats, Crazed Maneko, and even Hermit Cat. Outside of these, they're also useful for Cory and Dober PD, to name a few other traitless waivers. As for black enemies, the wave immunity helps mainly for Toucan. Both black and traitless enemies are home to a plethora of aggressive enemy types, so being able to put a damper on their offensive power is solid. Her conjure goes unchanged from base Pegasa, still retaining 6 or 7.2 seconds of slow. This long slow could provide a decent amount of breathing room, as well as solid damage. While her damage is fairly low on its own, being able to pair her with more offensive units can make her weaken or have a lot more value, and for early game players, can provide a counter to a trait where early game counters are non-existent. Last is a new event gacha unit, this being Business Partner Cat. They sport 12,000 HP, deal 1,900 damage, and have a 30% chance to slow metal enemies for 2.4 seconds, have a double bounty, and a 10% metal killer. This unit has some value in the early game, as being able to chunk bosses like Metal Cyclone and some Sir Metal Seals can make them a lot easier to defeat, but this unit has a few things that are a bit clunky about them. They have double bounty, but they really will get the kill on a metal enemy, since Metal Killer deals damage based on current HP. Another thing is that they're single target. This can cause them to struggle hitting some enemies in more spammy stages. This unit overall is fine for tankier metal bosses if you can afford the slot, but you probably won't be bringing them as your main means of killing metal enemies, especially the squishier ones, or if you're just late into the game. This unit goes up to level 50 plus 10, giving them 23,000 HP and letting them deal 3,600 damage. This update sees the addition of one new true form, this being for the Mighty Sphinx Corps, the Hyper Battalion Convoys. They gain a 19% boost in health up to 170,000 HP, a speed increase from 45 to 55, an increase in knockback count from 2 to 4, as well as a 50% chance to knockback and a 100% chance to wave. The effective health boost goes from 714,000 to 850,000. This true form fixes a lot of the core issues this unit previously had, such as being stuck on zombie corpses and having to rely on enemies to rebound. The knockback means they could shovel any corpses that get stuck in the backline to the main front. The wave also allows them to hit enemies in the event that they do get stuck in a corpse, still being able to crowd control them, or just snipe zombies that are sitting in the backline, like Zamel and Lord Gravy. The wave effectively doubles their main attack area's damage to 23,800 with 5,200 DPS. While the damage isn't the highest in the world, this newfound damage does mean that they can actually punch a hole in the enemy's health by the end of the life cycle. They still retain a somewhat long cooldown of almost 2.5 minutes, so it's still best to use them when you can get an opening to have as big of an impact as possible. Overall, this true form turns a very clunky unit to use to a unit that's workable in a wide range of metal, red, and zombie stages. This update is the first update since Ultra Forms were added to not see any new Ultra Forms added. One unit gains talents this update, these being for Obliterator Diabolosa. They gain Colossus Slayer, Surge and Knockback immunity, as well as Soul Strike and general stat talents. Perhaps their best talent is easily Surge immunity, as this fixes one of the core issues of their anti-Akku capabilities. Diabolosa can now actively stand in the minefield that is the Death Surge spam and shrug it off. This also allows them to be a viable unit for Medusan. This surge immunity also expands their usage of being a very solid Saint Dober counter. Colossus Slayer is another solid talent, as this allows them to deal a gigantic amount of damage to Big Peng Z, Exile, and Omens. For the former two, the damage boost goes all the way up to 226,000 damage, while for the Omens, it goes to 169,000 damage. The health boost bumps their effective health to 99,000. Pairing this and the Surge Immune talent gives you an amazing option for the Omens in the post-Johnny Leon phase of the fight, or even just the first 10 stages. As for the Soul Strike and Knockback immunity, these talents aren't really worth the NP. As per Soul Strike, this unit's very clumsy build can get them stuck on weak corpses when it wants to advance forward, and while you would think Knockback immunity can help with this clumsiness a little, their 3 knockbacks and somewhat low health does mean they want to use as many chances to reposition as possible. Overall, Surge Immunity and Colossus Slayer are very solid options, but Knockback Immunity and Soul Strike can be skipped. One unit gains Ultra Talents, these being for Akuma Hayabusa. Hayabusa gains Surge Immunity, TBA Reduction, and the Strong ability. These 3 talents are able to turn Hayabusa into an absolute menace against both Aku and Zombie. First, the TBA Reduction talent effectively cuts his TBA to 0, since the TBA gets reduced to below the length of his backswing. This alone almost doubles his DPS to a very solid 17,900 DPS with max attack talents. This amount of DPS allows Hayabusa to deal lasting damage very quickly. The Surge Immunity gives Hayabusa much more use in many Aku stages, as now he won't have to suffer an endless barrage of Surge spam. Last is his Strong ability, which gives him a great boost to stats against both zombies and Aku. Using his max stat talents, this bumps his stats to Aku's to 211,000 HP, 69,000 damage, and 27,000 DPS. As for zombies, the health boost goes all the way up to 264,000 HP, the damage to 82,000, and a very powerful 32,000 DPS. All of these ultra talents turn Hayabusa from a solid crowd control unit to an amazing attacker for both Zombie and Aku. The catch is that you need both the Dark Cat's Eyes and NP to unlock them. If you find you're already satisfied with your anti-zombie or Aku options, then you could probably skip out on them, but if you want to up the ante in your kit, then Hayabusa is definitely an option worth looking into. There are 3 new enemies added in this update. The first is an event variant of Cory, Whisking Meister. Compared to base Cory, they have 200,000 more HP and deal 1800 damage, and instead of having Base Destroyer, they have a 30% chance to knock back units. The second is the Fireworks Gang. Unlike every other firework guy, this enemy is an actual boss with 1.3 million health. While they sport a low 3,700 base damage, their incredibly high attack rate gives them a DPS stat of 22,000. They have an Omni Strike of negative 850 to 400 and have a 20% chance to spawn a mini surge from 150 to 650 range. Last is Jumbo Jones, a Colossus variant of Sunfish Jones and the new Great Advent boss. They have a disconnected multi-hit with a 4.67 second force swing on the first hit. They land their first hit between negative 300 to 450 range and deal 20,000 damage, while the second hit lands between 451 to 751 range, dealing 90,000 damage and spawning a level 7 wave and slowing all units that survive for 2 seconds. They're also immune to freeze and weaken. One new Zero Legends subchapter is added, this being the Reverse Royal Grave. The first stage is Portly Mummy, containing Piggy, Ziggy, Wing Piggy, Elizabeth the 56th, and Piggy the 2nd. Heavenly Harassment contains Trolley Blogger, Scissoroo, Elder Sloth, Gokurako, and Angie Lackey. Compliance Hell has Condemned Pang, Raging Gory, Otham, Kamal, Mini White Cyclone, and Boar. Lively Spirits contains Zoj, Doge Dark, Croxo, The Thrillers, Ostromata, and Oldstrich. Wicked Clergyman contains Ultra Baba, Gardenial Bros, Dogenstein, Mega Baba, and Diabrillos. Last is the Round Trip to Heaven. This stage contains Dogenstein, BB Bunny, Sorrel, Techno Hyena, JJ Jackrabbit, Cappy, and Queen Bee as the boss. To coincide with the additions of Rapper Cat and Jumbo Jones, a new Brutal Advent map has been added. Just like the other Great Advents, they contain 4 stages. The first stage contains Doge Dark, Angelic Gory, Sheepenhell, Gory Black, Shadowboxer K, and the titular Jumbo Jones. The second stage contains Trolley Blogger, Devil Wife, Condemned Pang, Cerberus Kids, Gabriel, and Sleipnir. The third stage features Metal Doge, Mr. Angels, Moths, Scissoroos, Shibalian Elites, and Elder Sloth. The final stage contains Rockos, Kangaroos, Those Guys, and the Thrillers, Oldhorn, Sorrel, and Lord Gravy. This brutal advent stage has magnifications that coincide with the recent changes to the magnification seen in the newest Zero Legends subchapters, and as such, is our confirmation that most, if not all, brutal stages will have these extra megs going forward. A new event map is added that has time score rewards. This map goes up to 3-star difficulty, with 2-star going up by 50% and 3-star going up by 100%. This event map also drops a new item called the Legendary Banknotes. In total, across the 3 stars, you can earn 120 bills, 3 CPUs, 3 rich cats, 450,000 XP, 3 cat jobs, and 3 cat tickets. The strongest stage contains Doge Dark, Gabriel, Celeboodle, Angelic Gory, Shadowboxer K, and Selena. There is a new event map that introduces the Whisking Meister, and the event map is a way to grind lucky tickets. This event map goes all the way up to 3-star difficulty. The strongest stage contains Gingersnake, the Thrillers, Piggy, Sir Steel, Ziggy, Shyboy, Zerziel, and the titular Whisking Meister. A new gauntlet map is added and serves as the main repeatable map to grind the banknotes. The final stage of this contains Celeboodles, Mistress Celeboodles, Devil Wives, as well as the Sunny Celeboodle and Selena. On screen are the chances of getting the banknotes. As a part of the 110 million download event, new stages were added for the Fireworks Gang. The first stage contains both low and high yield firework guys, as well as Jackie Pang and Sir Seal. The score rewards for this stage consist of 500,000 XP and a cat ticket. The second stage ups the ante and consists of both the high and low yield firework guys again, as well as Honey Wanwan, Celeboodle, Relic Doge, and Otham. The score rewards here include a Legend Cat's Eye, a Rare Ticket, and a Dark Cat's Eye. This update sees the addition of one new Otherworld Coliseum map, this being limited stock. This combines 2 different restrictions and turns it into one. The conditions here are that all units have a 16.67 second cooldown, and you can only send out 50 units total in a single attempt. Iron Wall and Conjured Spirits are excluded from this count. Round 1 features Doge Dark, Celeboodle, Shadowboxer K, Dogshun, and Razorback. Round 2 features Ultra Baba, the Thrillers, General Gugori, Lol Zyklone, Engabaru, Zerziel, and Scissorex. Round 3 features both Sinner and Gingersnake, as well as Devil Wife, Condemn Pang, Red Energy, Fallen Bear, and Professor A. Clearing the stage on both 1-star and 2-star nets a rare ticket each in the Missions tab. Round 4 features Doge Dark and Relic Doge, as well as Celeboodle, Shadowboxer K, Dark Joe, and Mega Mojo. Round 5 features Gabriel, Wild Doge, Gokurako, 4 Jr., and Elefante de Papau. Clearing the stage on 1-star grants 2 Platinum Shards, and on 2-star grants a Dark Cat's Eye through the Missions tab. A new Arena of Destiny map is added, and along with it comes a brand new set of ability orbs, which will be covered later. The stage itself has Squirrel, Lol Bunbun, Arost, Akudoge, the Feliverin, Teacher Bunbun, Brawlo, Fallen Bear, and Muth. Bonus points are earned from using units with the Strong ability. Units who inherently target more traits earn less points, and talents are excluded from this point reduction. For the first of these miscellaneous changes and additions, the plus levels of Catburger, Maneki, Coin, Farmer, $1 Million, and Meditation Cats have all been raised. Catburger can now go to plus 35, Maneki and Coin can now go to plus 40, Farmer goes to plus 25, and both $1 Million and Meditation Cat go to plus 20. There are 5 new ability orbs that are added. The first 2 added are Freeze and Weaken Resist. Like the other resist orbs, they reduce the effect by 5 to 50% and are additive. Then we have the single counter surge orb, for which every second unit spawn has a set chance to activate a one-time counter surge. The odds range from 10 to 100% depending on the orb rank. Then we have the Berserk Orb, which is an orb that boosts the attack stat of a unit by 3 to 20% depending on the rank after killing 10 enemies. Last is the Shortened Cooldown Orb, which reduces the cooldown of every second odd unit by 2 to 15%. Unlike most of the other second unit orbs, which work with every even unit, this orb works with every odd unit, meaning unit 1, 3, 5, etc. will get the orb bonus instead of 2, 4, 6, etc. A new filter was added to the cat filter, which allows you to sort through units that already have talent orbs equipped. A new function was also added called Potential, which allows you to sort through units that currently don't target a trait, but have the capabilities to do so through evolution or talents. For example, if you're using Detective Vigler, who targets floating and alien, and have the Potential filter setting on while looking for units who target zombie or relic, they will show up, as his later evolutions have capability of targeting such enemies. You can now watch an ad that doubles your XP gains from using the Gold Cat CPU on an XP stage. One new cat combo has been added, this being Insatiable Hunger, with Gourmand Ninja Girl to mow. This is a free small combo. Last are the new user rank rewards. User rank 25,600 nets 5 special cat size, 25,700 nets 5 rare cat size, and 25,800 nets 5 super rare cat size. Agent Stall is added to the English version of the Battle Cats. If you want to learn more about this unit, then you can check out my version 14.4 update summary or my detailed unit review about them. Agent Stall being added is to also coincide with the 11th anniversary, which will probably be running by the time this video releases. If you want more info about this event, then you can check out my 13.0 analysis, or if you're interested in the 11.5 anniversary content, check my 13.3 update analysis. For the same reason, Death's daughter Lunacia is added when Superfest rolls around. If you want to learn more about this unit, then check out my 14.3 analysis or my unit review about them. Neither the Bickerman content or the Evangelion stuff has been found in the game files. If the last update had a lot of summer stuff, then I'd say this update is 80% summer content. Outside of this, the main notable thing is that this update makes Adherence to Virtue, an absurdly difficult stage, into a stage that is way more manageable for first time clears. But I want to know what you guys think of this update. Let me know in the comments down below, and while you're down there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video, as this lets me know that this is the sort of content I should continue to make. Also, shout out to the following channel members: Dr. Deadly, Gamet, Ian Dean, Ninja Stars, Virus Opero, Just a Shark, Potato King, Gross Cat the Best, Tensico Gaming, Atsushi, King Wolf, Bree Gaming, Janek Altenberg, Clamorous, Barely Grover, and Carps for being silver members or higher. If you want to receive a shout out like these channel members here, then become a silver member or higher today. Becoming a channel member supports what I do in a way that helps keep the lights on and allows me to continue making content for all of you to watch. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day.